going on, guys? Welcome back to another edition of the Evolution of Sports Talk Television, the Sports Web, in collaboration with the JP Peterson Show. I'm your host, Peter Blake, as your Tampa Bay Buccaneers live here on Wild Card Monday night. Take care of business in dominating fashion over the Philadelphia Eagles, 32-9. How do we start off this show? You know them. You love them. You got to have them. Bring your passion. Bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. Open phone lines if you want to get in. Talk about your Tampa Bay Buccaneers in this performance, which, once again, the tone was set, in my opinion, in the first quarter. And, of course, we got Mr. JP Peterson here of the JP Peterson Show. Welcome to the Evolution, of course, in collaboration with your show here. As I talked about, largely dominated by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They set the tone, even though you settle for a field goal there. The next drive, you get a touchdown. It's 10-0 before you can sit down and have your plate. Welcome.
What a performance by this Buccaneers team. And this one is all on Todd Bowles.
Oh, yeah.
In a good way.
Oh, yeah.
This was a Picasso. This was his ultimate coaching performance in his first playoff win. Congratulations to Todd Bowles.
Yes.
But the Buccaneers came in here and completely flipped the script on the original game when Philadelphia was here and half the stands were Eagle fans, and they ran for over 200 yards. Todd Bowles burned that script, came back with a six-man front of big guys up front to completely thwart their rushing attack. They had 42 yards rushing. 42 yards rushing. And not only that, talk about this creative blitz packages that he came up with. 0 for 9 on third down. Almost every one of those was a blitz. 0 for 2 on fourth down. 0 for 11 on third and fourth down conversions. This was an ass kicking.
This was.
And this was completely created by Todd Bowles. They went out and executed. I talked to Anthony Nelson after the game, and I said, you came in this week and Todd came up with all these creative blitzes. He said, yeah, we came in and he was smiling and he was laughing. It's like, we're going to do this or we're going to do this. Yeah. They had Anthony. I looked up and I saw Anthony Nelson playing middle linebacker. I'm like,
you saw
wow.
Yaya Diaby do the same thing.
Diaby, I'm like, what is this blitz?
Yeah.
And guys coming off the edge, and they had free runners all night long. And this is what I said, did this energize your team? He said, yeah. We were energized to go out there and execute these blitz packages and these different run packages, and they executed them to perfection. They outcoached the Eagles. They out-hustled the Eagles. They out-hit the Eagles. They were the more physical team. I don't think I've ever seen an NFL game where a script was flipped so dramatically, and it was almost like the first game was a setup.
Right.
Like the Bucs were playing possum, and Todd Bowles was just laying in wait and say, wait till you see what we got this week. What a performance by this team defensively.
And I tell you right now, Baker Mayfield, I mean,
wow.
This guy definitely improved his value with his play tonight. And I get it. People talk about his game against Carolina. You talk about his game versus the Saints.
Terrible.
But tonight, he really showed out. He had some throws there early. We're kind of wondering, what's going on. But overall, 314 yards, 2 touchdowns. But you know what? We're going to go out to the phone lines because we asked for the phone calls. Let's go out to Curtis. Welcome to the Evolution in collaboration with the JP Peterson Show here live from Raymond James Stadium as your Tampa Bay Buccaneers take care of business over the Philadelphia Eagles 32-9. What do you have to say?
What's up, fellas? How y'all doing tonight?
Fantastic. What a win.
Yes.
Oh, man, listen, you know what? I'm going to tell you something. I didn't get home till the beginning of the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to tell you what it looked like to me. This looked like when we played Kansas City in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Well, all phases of the game. Chase McLaughlin, we always talk about him. You joke about, the kicker, but the kicker has come through. When he needs a 54-yard field goal, you get it. When you need a guy to kick from 30 or 40 yards, you get it. But, again, you look at Baker, 22 for 36, 337, 2 touchdowns. And I tell you right now, a lot of drop passes, namely Mike Evans. And you saw Mike Evans walk off the field. He was disappointed by this game. Or this score could have been a lot worse than what it was.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Well, you know what? Everybody has a bad game every once in a while.
Correct.
So what?
Correct.
Your team won. Leave this game where it is.
Yeah.
Let's head to Detroit next week. But I'm going to tell you something. I haven't seen this team play this confident all year.
Yeah.
And it looks really good. It's kind of scary because we're we're in the postseason. You know, this is a whole nother season now.
Well, it is,
So,
and it's a different season. And I tell you right now, Curtis, you come into it, and it's not always about what you do in the regular season. It's what you do in that postseason, because it is a new season. And then furthermore, you look at the momentum of this team right now. You look at the confidence of this team right now. Offensively,
Absolutely.
again, they set the tone. We talk about it. What are you going to be? Are you going to be a team that's conservative? Are you going to play to lose? Or are you going to come out and pass the ball? They come out and pass the ball. Even with Baker in the injury situation with his ribs, even with the ankle situation, you come out and pass the ball. And even though you settle for a field goal, I feel like you feel good about it, because there are opportunities there where you got big plays. Cade Otton, all over the place tonight. Huge game for him.
Yeah.
David Moore, not Dave Moore, the tight end, who's the analyst. David Moore. Where was this? A dazzling run there of 44 yards to the house there.
Trey Palmer.
Trey Palmer, another guy. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, Trey Palmer, both of those guys made great catches, but better runs after the catch.
Yep.
And is what David Moore, we saw him once about 4 weeks ago, and he made the same play, and a huge play to help win a game. And then tonight as well. I mean, that guy needs to be a bigger part of this offense. No question about it.
Well, you know what I love is to see people other than Evans and Godwin making plays.
Exactly.
This team is
That's
very
huge.
dangerous when that happens.
Exactly. When you can't, and they were doubling Mike and they were doubling Chris, and teams have done that a lot this year, and it's become a stagnant Bucs offense. But now Baker has more trust in Trey Palmer, more trust in David Moore, more trust in Cade Otton, more trust in Rashad White, and it, as you said, makes you a much more dangerous team.
I love Rashad White. I love that kid.
He had a great night.
That kid.
He did. He's definitely stepped up, Curtis. Anything else here? Because we're keep on taking calls here. But give me some final thoughts. Use that second call if you want to, Curtis. But go ahead, give me some final thoughts.
You know what? It's great to see our team, and we kind of were shaky in the middle of the season. We didn't know where we were going.
Yeah, 4-7.
It's just good to see them come out here and to execute a game plan and to be confident. And to really go out there and get a win, because, all week everybody was talking about, the Eagles this, the Eagles that. What's the Eagles' problem?
Sure.
But no one wants to talk about, is this Buccaneer team for real or not?
Well, I tell you right now, if people don't know they're for real, keep on, counting them out, because they're going to continue to put up that kind of effort. When you put up that kind of effort, you're going to beat anybody. Curtis, thanks a lot for the call. Appreciate you. Let's go out to Best of the Bay, Tampa Bay. Ray Kennedy, you're on the Sports Web in collaboration with the JP Peterson Show. Go.
Guys, I just don't know why I even bothered having a seat tonight, because that was the first. I'm telling you what. Hey, Peter, JP, I'm with my son. He's never been to a playoff game. We're there together.
Wow.
We didn't sit down the
What a
entire
memory.
game.
Yeah.
What a memory, Ray. That's awesome.
Yep.
That is fantastic.
Guys, not only that, but I'll tell you what, stopping the tush push or whatever they call it, defense, I go back, it reminded me a lot of when we closed down the Big Sombrero back in 96 against Detroit. And it's weird. I know it maybe because we're going to Detroit now, but it just reminded me of that was the atmosphere tonight.
97, I got to correct you here. 97, that's the playoff year there.
Yeah.
97.
Playoffs.
And I tell you
now.
now.
And when we shut down the vet.
Yes, absolutely.
In 2002.
Yes.
And this is one of the only teams in the National Football League. They did it in week 3 on 4th down with shutting down the tush push. They did it tonight. That's big, because instead of, taking the points, you take points off the board. The Bucs defense has a stand there. And then furthermore, the other play there on 4th down, where you take points off the board, and instead
take the
you
field goal off
take
the
the field
board.
goal off the board.
Go for it on 4th and 5.
You get nothing.
And what does Todd Bowles do again?
Blitz.
Cover 0.
Yes.
And it was CD3 in the back of the end zone.
Mr. Gravedigger himself.
You know what? And when I was talking to Anthony Nelson about those creative blitzes, he said, look, those things don't work unless the guys in the back are playing great man-to-man defense, and they did tonight. One time they got burned. Carlton Davis got burned. And actually, that was a 4-man rush when they gave up the deep ball. So they went back to blitzing on almost every critical play, and it worked to perfection. Staying aggressive. We talked about this on the show all week. If Todd Bowles stays aggressive and does creative things, it doesn't do the same thing, it doesn't go into the safe mindset, this team plays their best. We saw it at Green Bay. We saw it against Jacksonville. I have no idea what that Saints thing was.
No idea.
Cares?
Who
cares? They're at home watching the Bucs play as division champs again. By the way,
as
hello,
TJ Reeves.
Hello, Saints fans. Nice to see you. Hope you're watching tonight. How's How's the weather back there?
How's Jameis? How's Derek Carr? How's the coaching situation there with Dennis Allen, which is a complete total disgrace.
What a job.
Yes.
What a job by this coaching staff.
Yeah.
And I talked a lot about the defense, but offensively, talked to Baker Mayfield about that, and he talked about staying aggressive and that aggressive mentality. He was going to let it rip tonight. I was afraid how he was going to be able to survive this because he couldn't even walk last week. And Todd Bowles told me this in the postgame press conference. I asked him about Baker and how he got ready, and he said he was limping a lot this week. He was limping a lot this week.
But he wanted it tonight. You could see something. There was a fire, and that's the reason why Bucs fans, whether you love Baker or you hate him, he's going to be your starter.
How can you hate him?
I mean, I don't know how you can with the performance that he's had tonight. Gutty performance last week, gutting through that injury, but the fire, the swag that he shows, the confidence in this offense, he's just getting better and better. Tampa Bay Ray, what else?
No, guys, just if everyone's enjoying this post-game show tonight, this is what you get for the JP Peterson show 5 days a week. This is what you get from the Sports Web. I'll tell you what, Baker rushes for that first down, gets up, gives me the blood nose or the blood and I take JP right there. I said $40 million a year. That's the first time I knew JP. I knew that Baker had a chance to be our franchise. He should be, but that's the first time I've said that no matter what this guy's number is, Jason Light's got to make it happen. Guys, thank you for being on a post game. Have a great evening. Go Bucs.
All right, there you go. Go Bucs. Absolutely.
Come on in here, TJ Reeves, Bucs sideline guy.
How about them Bucs, baby?
There you go,
Listen,
there.
I said this after the Jacksonville win. I said, and everybody was like, well, let's, Todd Bowles is coming back and Baker Mayfield's come back. And we said, hold on. Let's see how this plays out.
Yes.
Let's see how this plays out. This guy's been talking about it all year. Just get me to the last game and give me a shot, and let's see what happens. And here we stand, and this team just won a freaking home playoff game. It's fantastic.
It was impressive stuff. Great to be with you guys after it's over with here. Can't say enough about the mentality from the beginning was aggressive, like you said. And you've got veteran players that have won a Super Bowl, that won another playoff game the following year in 2021, and they played like a playoff team with emotion tonight. It really should have, could have, would have. It should not have been that close for a lot of this game because you were kicking field goals, like you said. But the aggressiveness, the difference of Kalijah Kancey, who didn't play in the first game in the middle, Yaya Diaby, who didn't play significantly in the first game, they made a huge difference.
KJ Britt
in the middle, the blitz mentality, all of that was big. And, to their credit, the Eagles' body language down at field level tonight looked like in the first quarter they don't want to be here. And I think the Bucs kind of let them hang around with the field goals. They got the big play. But then you just saw the Buccaneers were the better team. The Eagles have been a damaged team for a month. This is why you got to let the season play out. The team that won 5 of its last 6 games looked like the team that had won 5 of its last 6 games, boys. It's not that profound on a Monday night late.
Absolutely. And they're like the most dangerous team right now going to Detroit. I think a lot of Bucs fans have to be confident in this situation. Although the Eagles only down 16-9, I think one of the biggest plays of the game, you have to agree, Anthony Nelson there with the safety. Once again, the defense stepping up. And I've been critical, but you could see the veteran leadership. Nelson has been a part of that rotation. Like you said, Diaby, Kancey, just talk about that play.
Yeah, and that's an enormous play right back behind us, right under the pirate ship where Anthony Nelson got a hold of him, and I thought it was a sack. They should have called it in the grass, but they called it. It doesn't matter.
He was down.
Yeah, it's intentional grounding, so it doesn't matter ultimately. But, yeah, the fire that the defense played with, again, we'll have time to dissect a matchup with the Lions coming up. Savor this, Buccaneer fans. So many out there doubted this team even when they were winning at the end of the regular season. You want to keep doubting this team? Look at what they did tonight. That's a big attention getter on ESPN where all the country's watching on Monday Night Football. A great performance. Baker Mayfield, you love my stats. Baker Mayfield's only the second Buccaneer quarterback in postseason history with a 300-yard pass game. The other guy's Tom Brady. Heard of him, and Brady did it 3 times in 2020.
And 3 touchdowns and no picks.
3 touchdowns, no picks as well.
Should have been 400 yards, 5 touchdowns.
Yes.
No picks.
And again, you can just – this is 3 straight postseason wins over Philadelphia. You were waving to the Saints fans. Hey, Philly, that's 3 straight times now. Super Bowl year, 2 years ago, and tonight. The Bucs have your number. I'm going to savor this one. Buck fans, you should savor this one. Keep calling Peter till they kick him out of here and turn the lights off.
I love it.
And you as well.
All right, my friend.
I love it. Absolutely. Give me some final thoughts here really quick about Cade Otton. How big was he tonight? And then David Moore, what did you see on that run? Because I was saying –
came right by me.
Right. Fantastic run.
He was literally right in front of me when he cut back to the middle, and nobody from Philadelphia wanted to tackle him on that play. That kind of set the tone. Otten with 8 catches. That is the record for a tight end in any Buccaneer postseason game. Rob Gronkowski had 6 in the Super Bowl win in this stadium, Super Bowl 55. Cade Otten, the most catches by a tight end ever. Jimmy Giles played in the postseason for this team. You want to go back? I'm racking my brain. That would be the 2002 would be like Ken Dilger and Ricky Dudley. I'm trying to think of those guys. You go back to Dave Moore playing in a lot of playoff games.
I thought you were going to miss him.
Yeah, and he had some catches, but Otten was great tonight. The Bucs were great when they had to be great in this game tonight. You don't win playoff games like this accidentally. This was a dominating performance.
I got to ask you about from field level. What did that Trey Palmer afterburner look like?
And the roars guys behind us. I know you were hearing it on TV if you were watching on TV, but if you were also here, this was as loud as that Rams playoff game in 2021 became in the fourth quarter when the comeback was on. Eventually the Rams won the game. I don't know that it's been this loud since then with the battle flags waving. What a night. Listen, keep knocking them dead. I'll be on with you tomorrow if you'll have me on tomorrow.
Absolutely.
On the show tomorrow.
11:40?
But yes,
all right,
let's make a date. Buck fans, enjoy this one tonight. It was not supposed to happen, according to some. It did happen. We were all here for it.
We were. TJ Reeves of the Buccaneers
Peter King, where are you?
Network.
Peter King.
I mean, what did he say? What did Peter
King
King
wins.
say? Yeah,
two wins.
All right, let's go
Two
on to the
wins.
phone lines here. Welcome to the Sports Web here in collaboration with the JP Peterson Show, live from Raymond James Stadium after your Tampa Bay Buccaneers beat the Philadelphia Eagles 32-9. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
What's up, guys? It's Bucs Basement.
Bucs
Basement.
They're not in the basement anymore.
What a phenomenal atmosphere. Phenomenal. Dude, Bucs showed out. That was an 80% Bucs atmosphere.
I'd say 90.
Yeah.
The crew was strong tonight. I looked over and I saw there was a little pocket of Philly fans. But for the first game, the entire freaking thing was Philly fans. And there was, I would say it was about 90-10 tonight. You guys showed up. The crew was awesome tonight. As TJ just said, that's as loud as I think I've ever heard it in Raymond James Stadium. It was fantastic.
Oh, dude, it was so loud. We got a false start. They got a false start. That never happened.
The
How
crew.
loud that shit was. Man, let me tell you something. If that defense plays the way they do tonight against the Lions, I like our chances because Goff is not a mobile quarterback. And this team shocked the hell out of me again. I did not recognize them. So, man, what a phenomenal performance by everybody, man. Todd Bowles, I hate him, but he earned the slot next year.
Do you still hate Todd Bowles? I mean,
No, you can't hate that guy. You can't hate that guy.
It certainly seemed like Bucs Basement.
You can hate the way he coaches at times, but you can't hate him.
No.
I saw him. Interesting. I walked out actually right behind him out of the locker room.
Yeah.
And it's weird. You think, guy just wins a playoff game. There's just going to be people mobbing him.
Mm-hmm.
He literally walked out of the locker room by himself, just sauntering down the hall like this by himself. I just, I said, congrats, coach. He looked up and then he walked right into his family.
Yeah.
And it was such a great thing to see. And listen, I've been as tough on Todd as anybody, but I've always said to you, I'm rooting for this guy. I like Todd Bowles as a human being. I love Todd Bowles as a human being. He's fantastic. And I've been rooting for him, and it's hard for me to ever say anything negative. I don't like saying negative things about it, but I got to objectively look at the way he coaches this football team at times. The Saints
tonight, man.
Yeah, tonight was a masterful performance. Yes.
Woo!
Yes. I mean,
And it was, and I can't accentuate this enough. This was Bowles. The players executed it, but he came in with a bold plan and said, this is what we're going to do. And like I said, Anthony Nelson, his eyes got big just telling me about it. It's like, we were excited. We're excited about all the different stuff. It does energize him. And Bowles was excited. Like all week long, they're like, we're going to do this. We're going to do this. They ain't never seen nothing like this. We're doing 6-man front. We're sending everybody from everywhere. And it energized the team. And this is what we've been talking about all year. Like, this is what, stay aggressive. Be aggressive. Don't fall back into that cover 2 crap, soft shell.
Yeah,
let your guy. Yes.
Fuck him up.
And he did. And they played they played so well tonight.
And I tell you right now, guys, I was looking at JP talking in the press box, and I said, maybe this team was playing possum all along. Maybe they were saving their best effort for the playoff game. And I tell you right now, this was probably the most complete victory they've had all year long.
Oh, my God. Bro,
even better than Jacksonville. Even better than Jacksonville.
We were in the seats, and we were like, Dude, did they just rest their game plan until the playoffs and like, this is our real playoff, this is our real game book? It's like y'all ain't ready for us.
Baker
That's
talked
crazy.
about Dave Canales calling the plays tonight, and there was more pre-snap motion than I've seen this year.
The entire season.
Yeah, there was more. There was just different creative stuff. A lot of misdirection. Philly, the defensive backs were completely confused multiple times. Guys coming wide open. I mean, the 5 drops, literally 2 touchdowns. Baker should have had 5.
Yes.
Evans in the corner. Otten, there was some interference, but you got to play through that
He's
contact.
grabbing through the waist.
Yeah, whatever. You got to catch that football. Yeah, they got to call it, but Kate Otten, he knows he's got to catch that. He had a great night.
Right.
So
the
it
one
didn't
thing
cost
we
them.
need on this team is a tight end 1. We need to get one in free agency.
Well, I tell you right now.
On a night Kate Otten does that, you got to come out with that, bro. Come on,
if
Bucs
Kate
basement.
Otten-
You're killing me.
Bucs basement, if Kate Otten continues to play like that and step up and make big catches, and I get it, he had a critical drop there.
He's got to get bigger and stronger.
Agree.
Yeah, he's
At the point of
100%.
attack,
Yeah.
he knows that, but he had a hell of a night. He had a hell of a
Oh,
night.
it was a fantastic night.
Yeah. All right, thanks, Bucs basement. We'll talk to you
Have a
tomorrow.
good one, guys.
See you at the JP
Appreciate
Peterson
you.
Show live 10 to 12 tomorrow. Don't forget about that.
Wind me up.
What's the number?
727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. It's the Sports Web along with the JP Peterson Show here live from Raymond James Stadium as my notes are going all over the place here. But going back to it, the Nelson, and it looked like it was Kalijah Cansey who
Kalijah Cansey got the original pressure on him.
Right.
Chased Jalen Hurts out to the outside, and Nelson came so quick. Hurts thought he could avoid him, but he took him down strong. I thought he was already down on his butt before he let the ball go. It should have been either a fumble or a sack.
Alex from
grounding.
Largo, welcome to the Evolution in collaboration with the JP Peterson Show. What do you got? Go.
Hey, guys. First of all, let me say this. I'm going to start off by saying this. That was probably the best Bucs performance I have seen all season long.
Yeah, without question. Without question.
Yeah. Can we all actually start with that and agree that was probably the best performance we've seen on all phases of the game?
In the biggest game of the year.
I mean, and that is critical because we weren't sure what to expect after the New Orleans disaster, after only scoring 9 points from the Carolina Panthers. So
a game you could have easily lost.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But,
so yes.
But guys, overall, I think there's a lot of times throughout the season that we also don't give Todd Bowles the credit he deserves.
Agree.
I can say so about myself too. Had a lot of questions about the guy.
Yeah.
If you couldn't get it done with the GOAT, what makes us all think we're going to get it done with Baker Mayfield? We didn't know what we were going to expect.
Well, that wasn't a real Tom Brady
season.
last year, so he didn't get the real Tom Brady, unfortunately, and we've talked about that at length. But yeah, I maybe. Sometimes maybe I feel like I'm a little tougher on him than I should be.
Right.
But, in the end, what I've said consistently is if Todd Bowles stays aggressive in his coaching and in his mindset, he will win more games. And I think that's proven to be true. Tonight he was uber aggressive and that it paid dividends. And I'm so happy for him. And I'm so glad he got his first win. And if he just stays in this mindset,
yes,
this team can do great things. Can they beat the Lions? We'll worry about that another time. But tonight, this was an ass kicking. I mean, this could have easily been 45 points, 50 points, just with those 2 catches at the goal line alone.
Yeah.
So a
Absolutely.
tremendous performance.
Go ahead, Alex.
And JP and Peter, can we all agree though that defense was lit tonight? I mean, I know what we saw last week was great. Shutting out the Panthers. At the end of the day, I told this to Peter last week on his show earlier this week. At the end of the day, I don't care what NFL team, trash or not trash. Don't care about what the record is. If you can shut out an NFL team, I'm still proud of the defense. But to come into this game today, not expecting what kind of an Eagles team that you're going to get, the fact that this defense put as much pressure on Hurts and this entire offense, kind of, in my opinion, not really shutting them out, but shutting them out enough that I think the offense did just enough to what we needed to do to win.
Well,
but can we actually give hats off to this defense? I think this defense was on their A game tonight.
You know what we haven't talked about enough?
that?
I've talked a lot about the creative blitzes. Is the 6-man front
Yeah.
that Todd Bowles came up with to stop the run game? Because I said it all week. How are the Bucs going to stop the run game? It's basically the same personnel. Cansey didn't play. Yaya didn't play a lot. But those two things, the Kancey's not a great run defender.
No.
So I'm like, how are they really getting, Devin White's going to be in there getting crushed like he always is. Wait a minute. He wasn't. He put KJ Britt in the game. And KJ Britt was out there, a 6-man front. And how creative was that? 42 yards rushing.
That's it.
42 yards
You'll
rushing.
take that all day
201 the first week.
Yes.
That is coaching brilliance. That is execution by the players. That was fantastic.
Yep, it was. And I tell you right now, that was the big time thing that you looked at in this game, because in week 3, the Eagles were able to rush for over 200 yards.
201 on 40 carries.
So you felt like if you could stop the run game with A.J. Brown and his absence, and to me, people were like, well, they could still win. Yeah, Devontae Smith had some great catches tonight, but that offense was completely different with A.J. Brown. So the game plan had to be, like you said, 6-man front, stop the run, make them one-dimensional. And like you said, a Picasso performance, it kind of reminded me of Kansas City. And I think that's the reason why so many people have the expectations of Todd Bowles, because here is the defensive coordinator that shut down that high-powered offense in the Kansas City Chiefs. And no other defense has really been able to do that ever since. So, of course, the expectations are high. Of course, the talent is there. You just had to see it, and you saw it all on display tonight at Raymond James.
Yeah, absolutely. And guys, 2 more notes real quick before I go.
Yeah.
I actually want to give 2 players a shout out. I also want to give my first shout out to Cade Otton. I think he really did a fantastic job. What do you guys think about his performance here today?
It was great. He got a lot of targets, 11 targets, had 8 catches. Had to drop the touchdown pass, dropped 2 other passes.
Which, by the way, I still say he was grabbed by the waist. If you look at the replay, he was grabbed by the waist.
He wasn't grabbed by the arms.
Right.
You got to play through contact and make that play. And I guarantee you, Cade Otton would sit here and say the same damn thing.
Right.
But he had a whale of a game. He had a whale of a game. He knows he can be better. They'll need him to be better next week, because you cannot. Those things come back and bite you in the ass, but the Bucs were so dominant tonight, it did not. I thought, man, we're sitting here in the first half. You just had 5 drops, 2 of them at the goal line. This is just setting up to come back and bite you in the butt. But the Bucs were so good, and again, kept their foot on the gas pedal. Even with a big lead or bigger lead, he didn't fall back into that cover 2 shell. Remember against Houston where we just let him move right down the field?
Yes.
Didn't do that. Stayed aggressive. Like, I don't care if they beat me deep. I don't care. We're going to keep playing this way. And I know I've said it like 50 times, but that's the key. Stay aggressive.
And then on top of it, I talked to Ron Jaworski, Jaws, this week, and the Eagles as a team have struggled all year long when it comes to the blitz, and also, blitz pickup. They struggled all year long, and Jalen Hurts struggled all night long against the blitz. So why not continue to do that if you're successful? It makes no sense to get away from it. So you're exactly right.
Because sometimes I think coaches, they overthink it. I think Todd is very guilty of this.
Right.
Sometimes he's like, well, they know we're going to blitz, so we shouldn't blitz. No, that's your strength. Your strength is fast linebackers, guys coming off the edge. Antoine Winfield coming off the edge. You got smart, fast players that know how to blitz and know how to execute those. And so even if they know it's coming, you're bringing more than they can protect. And they forced Jalen Hurts to make quick decisions and be accurate, and he could not be. No. And so sometimes even if they know it's coming, Tony Dungy used to say this all the time. He's like, I don't care how vanilla we are. If we execute it, and even if they know it's coming, it's going to work. Now, he may have taken that to an nth degree on offense, but the fact of the matter is, if you execute it and you play to your strengths, which is what they did tonight, you're going to be very successful in this league.
Absolutely. Alex, anything else?
Yes. And JP and Peter, and see, I think JP just kind of hit it on the dot there. I've been saying that all season. That's where parts of the season the Bucs have struggled, but it is so important to put that pressure on that quarterback. You were already looking at a Hurts who's already hurt, already having issues, with the finger, etc. Blah 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 blah. Like we all know that. But it was, how important was it to see that pass rushing defense put that pressure on Hurts all night long? And I think if you're looking at going into this next game against the Lions, don't leave that game plan. I think Bowles did an absolutely executed job today on his defense. I think Todd Bowles is a great defensive coach. I don't believe in him making calls on the offensive side because I just don't like what I see, but that's my personal
Well, he
opinion.
does- he
Well,
doesn't
I'll tell you
make
right
Todd
now, you
Bowles
got to
cannot
give
open play on that
credit. I'll
defense.
tell you right now, Alex and JP. And Alex, thanks a lot for the call. Appreciate you. As always, open phone lines if you want to get in on at 727-255-0391. Credit to where credit is due. Like you said, Dave Canales, we saw different looks tonight. We saw different wrinkles. We didn't see them running on first down with 2 yards in a cloud of dust. You saw quarterback waggles. You saw, pass play action. That was the variety. That's what you kind of expect or were looking for at the beginning of the season for this offense. And now it seems like, once again, and I keep on saying it, it seems like it's all coming together at the right time.
We knew
JP.
it was going to take time.
Yeah.
And these things take time. You have a new quarterback. You have a new system. Details are of the utmost importance, but it just in limited practice time is with the CBA. So you can't practice as much as you used to. So it's hard.
Yep.
And it was going to take some time. And right now, obviously, they're hitting their stride. And the timing is perfect.
It is. Timing is perfect. Let me go out to Jim here. Jim, damn it, Jim. Welcome to the evolution and collaboration with the JP Peterson Show. What do you think? Go ahead.
We having a good night tonight, fellas. Ain't we?
Yeah, we do.
I think you're a guy that has been a big time Todd Bowles fan here. Stand by for a minute, Jim. Hold on. Caller, we got Jim on the line. We'll come back to you when we're done with him. All right, stand by. I'm working the lines here.
Wow, look at you.
Yes,
You're
absolutely.
so
So, Jim, yes, you had Todd Bowles. Yeah. Everybody's been talking about Todd Bowles on the hot seat. I think tonight it has been proven. He's coming back for another year. He's coming back for another 2 years, and who knows? The sky's the limit. Talk about Todd Bowles in this performance by this Bucs offense, Bucs defense, and, of course, Bucs special teams.
Well, I'm glad that y'all coming around to my side. I've been saying that all year, man. He puts pieces together here and there. You got to let that man do his artwork.
Yeah.
Now he's putting it together because it's gluing together now. Y'all see it now. Huh?
Yeah, I'll eat some crow on that one. Although if they'd have lost last week, I don't think Todd Bowles would have survived that. But he didn't. He won the game, and he came in here with a bold game plan and won it. So, yeah, listen.
What y'all think?
I love it.
Going to Detroit.
I want to kind of enjoy this one, but, at first blush, watching the Lions yesterday, their first 3 possessions, I believe they took it right down the field. Didn't do much after that. But Goff is fantastic.
Scored 3 points in the second half.
Yeah, Dan Campbell is just been a really, really inspirational type coach. Shout out to Brad Holmes of blanking on his high school here.
Well, locally in Tampa.
Yeah,
He's done a fine job about that. And you look at Dan
Chamberlain.
Campbell.
Jeez, Jiminy
well,
Christmas.
that's all right. But
from the pride of Chamberlain High, he has done it. He is the one who orchestrated the Jared Goff to Matthew Stafford trade, and the players, the 6 players that they've added. I saw it last night, and I'm trying to remember each and every one of them that they added, that they turned that into, has remade that entire team. So it's Dan Campbell, it's Brad Holmes, the GM, who's done a fantastic job, and so hats off to them. The city of Detroit, it's a great story. But we're done with that.
Yeah, well, 31
we're coming
years,
up there.
Congratulations
to
them.
end your Cinderella story.
I would just say, right now the Bucs to me have the most momentum because they beat Philadelphia. I get it, Philadelphia was scuffling, but keep in mind, Philadelphia, highly talented, defending NFC champion here, was in the Super Bowl, so you have to feel good about it. Maybe Detroit comes out flat because they won that playoff game, because you saw the fans, you saw them emotional.
Crazy.
Can they get the emotional? Can they get back up for the game
It's
again?
a great point.
Right.
It's a great point.
I just wonder if they can do that. So maybe you catch Detroit. They're highly talented, but we would even agree with that first matchup. There were opportunities with Baker making plays down the field that you're in that game. It's not like the
he missed
Lions
some
ran
throws.
away.
Baker mentioned that tonight. He said he really missed some throws in that game, so he wants a chance to get it back. And listen, they're far from an unbeatable team. It's not like they're and I think the 49ers are beatable too, but they're formidable, no question.
Right.
Now, this is I think the Bucs will probably be 5.5, 6 point underdogs, which is exactly where they want to be. Exactly where they want to be.
Yeah.
And I asked Baker Mayfield about this. I said, this is you thrive in these situations. You major in underdog. This has been your whole career. Do you feel comfortable in this situation? Does it energize you? And he said, yeah, absolutely. I love it. This is my sweet spot. And, he leads this team. We talked about this after the Jags when this team is all about 6 is the leader. He's the guy. and he's done a fantastic job.
Jim, we got to run. Appreciate the call. Use that
All
second
right.
call if you want to. Let me go back out to the phone lines here. What's your name? Where you're calling from? You're on the Sports Web in collaboration with the JP Peterson Show. Go.
Hey, what's going on, Peter? It's Dave in Buffalo.
What's
What's
going
up,
on,
Dave
Dave?
in Buffalo?
Dave in Buffalo. Look at that. Dave in Buffalo. We had people call from Costa Rica. What do you have to say here tonight about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and their big-time win over the Eagles?
Yeah. Hey, I don't know if you talked about this yet, but I just want to take a moment to talk a little bit about the moment of the game, which I thought was the moment of the game, was the moment that swung the game in our favor, and that's when the Bucs shut down the brotherly shove.
Yeah, well, they did that earlier on. They did that in the third week on fourth down, and they've certainly figured it out. Now, I will say this, to be fair, if you watch the replay, KJ Brett definitely gets away with a face mask there, but later on in the game, they gave it back to the Eagles.
The play, they're cheating on the
play.
Was
over.
So.
It was over.
The play was over. Yeah, he pulled him by the shoulder pads back first. So, and he had him, and then his hand kind of slipped up to the, and of course, Eagles fans are losing their mind.
Listen to you being diplomatic.
Yeah, these Eagles fans are losing their mind on Twitter. Oh, how do you not call that?
Right.
Shut up.
Well, the same way you don't call the Devin Tompkins punt
tell your idiot coach not to take points off the board.
Well, there you go.
And every Eagle fan will agree with me on that. Trust me on that.
And a lot of people would say, that brotherly push or brotherly shove or whatever the hell it is. Tush
the brotherly
push.
shove, the tush push.
Whatever it is. Brotherly love. I don't know what it is, but it seems like, you're challenging this Bucs defense and you're saying, you know what? We don't care. We're going for the 2-point conversion because we can.
Oh, yeah.
And the Bucs defense says, you know what? We're going to punch you in the mouth.
That's
and
right.
That's the kind of attitude that you got to have.
Well, I said it all week. I said, listen, the more physical team wins these kind of games. We thought it would be a little bit of rain. It never rained here today. So all the fans that were, afraid, I don't want to go to the game. This is going to rain. Well, forecast change.
Yeah, what are you going to do?
But I'm not going to bust on the crowd. The crowd was fantastic tonight. No question about it.
Absolutely.
But no, and I thought the more physical team would win. The Philly was by far the more physical team in the first game because we were playing soft. We're playing cover 2. We're sitting back. We weren't trying to. It was just, and you got pushed around. You got manhandled in the first game. So I'm thinking, well, that's not going to change much, right? Boy, was I wrong.
Oh.
Because the Bucs were the more physical team tonight. No question about it.
Yeah.
How they can turn it off and turn it on. I'd like them to be more consistent. I mean, this is the team, frankly, that we should see every week.
Agree.
So I get frustrated when I don't see them play to their potential. Yeah. And that's on the coaching staff. That's on the players. So bring it. Like, what are you waiting for? How do you not bring that energy for the Saints game?
And
how do you not bring that energy for the Carolina game?
Yeah.
But you wait, till this game to bring that energy and that creativity and that aggression? Seems kind of weird, but here we are. So it is what it is. We're going to Detroit.
You're going to Detroit. You're going to
we actually want to go to Detroit.
Motor City. Yeah, absolutely.
Said no one ever.
Right, exactly. You would have liked to come back here and play the Rams,
right.
But that's neither here nor there.
Yeah,
Levante David showing effort once again. He's the best linebacker on the field, period. And I thought Jamel Dean played well in this game. Lots of tackles, pass breakups. We haven't seen that all year long.
Got toasted for the deep ball.
But besides that, I thought he
played. He
well.
played. Listen, that's when you're playing man all night long.
Yeah.
And you get beat one time by one of the fastest players in the league. I'll take that.
Sure.
I'll take it.
Sure.
If you're playing man and you're sending guys all night long and you get beat one time, that's a winning effort. You're not going to win every single time. So tip of the cap to Jamel Dean, Carlton Davis. They played, as Anthony Nelson told me, you can't rush 5, 6 guys, 7 guys if your guys at the back end aren't playing great man-to-man defense, which they did. Zion McCollum, who busted Julio Jones right here and put him out of the game.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, he was seeing. By the way, that may have been a fumble. That may have been something that the Bucs should have challenged because the next play was the big one over the top. Devontae Smith. Yeah. So whatever. But Zion McCollum is becoming one hell of a football player. And that was another wrinkle that we saw. You remember when it was the Saints game when they were just torching us with the tight ends, torching us. Fourth quarter, he put Zion McCollum in a safety spot to start playing heads up with the tight ends. Shut that down. Yeah. So he carried that over into this game and let Zion play safety and match up with the tight ends. And once again, that worked out well. And he can also cover the fastest corners. He made a play on, I think it was Devontae or Swift.
Yep.
When I thought they were gone. They were bursting, and he put on a little burst of speed, and he's a 4.4 guy. Zion, as big as he is, he's 6'2", 6'2.5".
I think he's 6'3".
6'3",
Yeah.
220 pounds,
Yeah.
and runs like a 4.4. That's, he played at Sam Houston State, so he's just learning how to play this game. And boy, does he have some tools.
He's getting better and better.
Man,
and
does
that's
he
the
have some
reason
tools.
why a lot of Bucs fans and this organization in general was excited about getting him in the 5th round because, there's a lot of people out there were surprised he didn't go in the 2nd or 3rd round because of those tools
with
that you
those
talked
tools,
about.
but it struggled. And a lot of that is confidence for
Yeah.
him. And I've talked to him about this before. And he's, he talks about, I get to that point where I need to go make the play, and I hesitate sometimes.
Yeah.
He's not hesitating anymore.
No.
He's delivering the blow.
Yes.
And ask Julio Jones.
Yeah, I tell you right now, Julio Jones went out of this game with a concussion, and after that,
You never want to see that, but
yeah, you don't. But you have one wide receiver that's Devontae Smith, and you can bracket coverage. Dave, what else here?
Hey, it was just rewarding for me to see all the long faces of all these Eagle fans.
I know, right?
Everybody,
Poor
you
Eagle
just
fans.
looked like you just peed in their cornflakes.
Yeah. Well, and it's always a good thing to beat the Eagles because, of course, the Bucs have that history with shutting down the vet and Rondé Barber.
I was
By
there.
the way, Bucs, Bucs social media, you guys never miss.
Oh my God.
What
That
an
hype video
unbelievable-
today with Rondé?
That trailer was
Oh,
unbelievable.
that was
It gets you
fantastic.
pumped up. It makes me not want to work at my sales job. Get out.
Let's go.
Yes, let's go. All
Yeah,
right,
that was
Dave.
terrific.
Anything else here on the evolution in collaboration with the JP Peterson show?
No, I'm good. Thanks, Pete, for taking my
Thanks,
call.
guy.
And go Bucs!
Oh, I love it. There you go. Go Bucs right there. So open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. I know that we have some comments here, so we'll go and try to read some of these comments.
Yeah, let's get to
But
those.
also give me some other things you saw. We talked about Trey Palmer and that speed burst. He talked about on this tweet today how
the afterburners, man.
He was pissed off. He woke up pissed off. Didn't necessarily work out to his favor. The first of it being like offsides or false start or something like that.
Yeah.
But when he gets out in space, he catches the ball. Once again, you can see the tools of that
Well,
young
and
man.
even seeing that speed,
Yeah.
that's the defensive coordinators now have to account for that. They have to account for that.
Yeah.
So then that speed, and that's going to change the way they play them. So
Yep.
yeah,
All right.
interesting.
Let's go out to Adam. Adam, welcome to the evolution along with the JP Peterson show. Go.
Hey guys. Just so awesome. I really think that Nick Sirianni is going to have some issues going back to Philly with this game plan. Jalen Hurts,
you think?
he had problems with his throwing hand, and he should have relied more on his running game. I don't understand.
It wasn't successful. Like, they've tried to run it a little bit. I did think they got away from it a little bit.
They did.
But credit the Bucs. They shut it down. They shut it down, and
they sure did.
They took them out of their running game, to be quite honest. They
sure did. And then, of course, then you go back to, relying on the passing game. How much did they miss A.J. Brown?
A lot.
Big time.
Yeah, okay, because the Bucs played a lot of cover zero. They played a lot of man behind all these blitzes. Is A.J. Brown a guy that's going to win some 50-50 balls? Absolutely.
Yes.
See a guy that's going to get behind you when you're playing, cover zero? Absolutely. But that's on Todd Bowles. When you take away that, it gives you, your counter move to that, and the chest move is like, okay, so let's play more man and let's get after him because we don't have to worry about A.J. Brown. That's good coaching.
Yeah.
That's good coaching.
Yeah, agree.
And can we not stop talking about how awesome it is to have Chase McLaughlin, 8 of 9 beyond 50 yards this season? Can you believe that?
He never misses.
I mean, he
hits it
doesn't
right
miss.
down the middle.
And
man.
I was looking at you and I said, how did this
What a
guy
weapon.
get on multiple teams? How did he never earn a place? He's definitely earned a place on this team. And Jason Light was in the right with going with him over Ryan Suckup. And why did they go with him in the first place, JP and Adam? Because he could kick beyond 50 yards. And he's been able to do that consistently this year. He's been a consistent force when this Bucs team has
Jason
needed
Light
him.
is smart.
Oh,
if a
he
guy
is.
can make,
Yeah.
if guy can make him from 57 consistently, you should stick with him.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, I mean, he's
that Jason Light guy. He's brilliant.
Yeah, the fans, were
worth
screaming for Ryan Suckup this, Ryan Suckup that. Come on, Chase
Yeah,
McLaughlin's been amazing. amazing.
And Ryan
Yes.
did a great job, by the way, in the
Yeah.
Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He was fantastic.
Ryan was great.
That season, he was fantastic. He did exactly what they wanted to, but we needed a weapon, and he has turned into a weapon.
Yeah.
There's no question about it.
Absolutely.
Especially for a team that has struggled in the red zone.
Absolutely. Well,
when you put a drive together and a guy comes in and misses a kick from 35 or 40 yards, it's so deflating.
Sure
it's
it
so
is.
deflating for your football team, and that just hasn't happened. And then how energizing it is when you get to the 35-yard line, you're like, and your drive stalls, and you're like, well, you can still get 3 here.
Sure.
Yeah,
Right.
you sure
Exactly.
can.
We
You're
don't
at the
have to-
35 freaking yard line.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have to punt it.
50,
But
54 tonight. I mean, just straight down, the avenue.
Yeah.
right,
That
exactly.
could have been good from a 70.
It
He
could have
crushed
been.
that
Yeah,
ball.
he does,
Yeah.
and he's been doing it all year long. He did it. He did it at the beginning
Glad you
of the
brought
year.
him up.
Yeah,
Chase
absolutely.
McLaughlin.
Adam, what else?
Devin Tompkins did a nice job returning
So
punts tonight, too.
one final thing.
Yes.
You and I, we've talked about this. I really don't understand the negativity towards Todd Bowles in general. Look at what Todd and our GM have done with the salary cap, with the player personnel. Yes, there were spotty moments during the season, but we won the division. Now, here's another really, really, interesting thing. What did they talk about at the beginning of the year? NFC South, worst division in the entire league.
And it was.
How many teams from the NFC East are left in the playoff?
Zero.
Now, who's the worst division?
We're
in
still the worst division.
football?
We're still the worst. We were 16-24, by far outside of our division. So,
But
still
his
the
point
worst
is,
division.
and I think it's a lot of people's point, a lot of fans said, well, you get in, you're one and done because you got to face
Right.
the Eagles. You
Yeah.
got to face
That's
the Cowboys.
what I'm saying.
So you just
Look,
have to get
let's,
it.
all right, let's just be, let's be honest, okay? You're a 500 team, and you won the
Yes.
division back-to-back. That's never happened again. It's never even been close. So let's just be honest about it. If Todd Bowles would have lost last week in Carolina, which
Yes.
it was very close, by the way, it easily could have
Right.
lost that game, Todd Bowles would have been fired. I'm here to tell you, and should have been fired. If you have 2 games to win, and you can't, and you show up and play like you did against the Saints, and you can't beat a 2-14 team to win the
but
division, then you're gone. That's the
but
way it works.
JP
But the narrative changes dramatically. And I said, look, let's see what happens the rest of the season. They won the division, and then they won. And the Eagles, are they a formidable team at this point of the season? No, they are not. They've been circling the drain for quite some time. They didn't have their best player. I'm just keeping it real. I'm just keeping it real. So the Bucs, hats off to everybody. Tremendous job that they did tonight. They did what they had to do, and they put an ass whooping on the Eagles. But let's just keep it in perspective.
Okay, so Peter and I are in a different camp than you, JP.
That's fine. That's fine.
We are both saying that they have a great chance in beating the Lions.
Well, they do. And I mean, again, it comes back to, you're playing your game. Are you going to come out with the same effort that you had against the Eagles? Because we've seen instances
Exactly.
this year. But do they have the weapons? Yes. Is Baker Mayfield a quarterback that can make all the throws? Yes. Is he a
Yes.
quarterback that can also make some bad decisions? Yes, we've seen that. But lately, if you
He's
protect
not.
him, he got away with a couple, throws tonight, throwing in double coverage. You don't have that interception.
Yep.
But again, he basically going to have better numbers. You got more touchdowns, like you talked about with all the drops.
Yeah. Should've
This
had
team
5.
has the potential, and then furthermore, it has the potential because you have the veteran leadership in a Carlton Davis, and a Antoine Winfield Jr., in a Shaq Barrett, a Vita Vea, a Levante David, but also you have that infusion of young talent with the Kalijah Cansina, Yaya Diaby, and like you said, Zion McCollum. So if that all comes together, and again, the NFL is a week-by-week league. Let's just say the Bucs come out and they're flat next week. They're going to get their doors blown off by the Lions. But they come out and play their game. Yes, they can beat anybody, and that's why I continue to tell fans like yourself and fans out there, don't just rule this team out. I get it. They played in the NFC South, not a great division. They were 500, over 500, whatever else. If you get in, you always have a chance to win if you play your game, if you get hot at the right time. And once again, the Bucs were hot tonight. Adam,
they were fantastic.
Adam, thanks a lot for the call. Appreciate you as always. Open phone line 727-255-0391.
I got to wrap it up here. I got a long drive, my friend.
You got to go to Orlando, so we will stay on here, take phone calls. Final thoughts here, JP Peterson of the JP Peterson Show.
Just want to repeat what we said in the beginning. This was all Todd Bowles.
Yeah,
this was a tremendously creative game plan with the 6-man front and the constant pressure. Exotic blitzes they've never done before.
Yeah.
And they executed them to perfection. They had a great week of practice, as Todd said a lot of times. But this time they brought it to the field. These guys were ready to play. And this is what we've been asking for. This is what we've been asking Todd Bowles to give us. Stay aggressive, play to your strengths. And that's what he did tonight.
Yeah.
And I think Todd is still learning as a head coach. He's still learning what this team can do, what they do best.
Yeah.
And it's coming at the right time. And again, I am so thrilled for him and seeing him tonight and getting a chance to say congratulations, coach. I've been critical of him, and I think it's been fair criticism.
I do too.
But I'm also saying this was Todd Bowles' Picasso tonight. This was his greatest moment. There's no question about it in his coaching career. It may, and maybe even more so than a Super Bowl shutout of, or no touchdowns by Patrick Mahomes on this field.
Right.
What they did tonight, and him as the head coach, I think may even surpass that because he's the head coach.
Mm-hmm.
It was a phenomenal coaching job. And I just hope we can carry it into next week when, at this point, as you brought up, a great point, how did the Lions get back up after that emotional 30 years in the making win at home?
Right.
And now here comes the Bucs that are playing with house money. And to some degree, the Lions are the favorites. The Bucs are playing with house money. Their sphincter's going to get a little tight, I think, playing at home. Fans there, they don't want to disappoint. They're emotionally spent from the last week. It's a great spot for the Bucs.
It's
a great spot for the Bucs.
Absolutely. And a great spot for you is to tune in to the JP Peterson Show tomorrow from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Go ahead, partner. Promote yourself.
Yeah, we'll have Scott Reynolds on and TJ Reeves and maybe some other surprises for you as well. Tune into these same channels. We'll be on YouTube, FanStream JP, on Twitter, on my Facebook, JP Peterson. You can always find us there. And I believe we'll be on your channel as well.
Yes.
So as we always are. And Pete and I'll be together on Wednesday as we really start turning the page and looking ahead towards the Lions. So
and we'll see what happens
night,
on Sunday. I'm telling you,
what
it was
a
great
historic night here. It's a night that the people that were here will never forget. Bucs Basement, we talked to him, who's the other guy that brought his son here tonight. I forget, Ray
Tampa
Kennedy.
Bay Ray Kennedy.
Tampa Bay Ray.
Yep.
I mean, life's about making memories, man. And you guys made memories tonight. The crew was fantastic. The Bucs put a historic beatdown on the Eagles that will go down in history.
It's always better for some reason. Like you could beat the Lions next week, but
it's so much sweeter beating Philly fan. Oh my God,
it's always sweeter because they talk so much stuff all year long, and you beat them. And
the people that heckled Joe Jurevicius after he lost his baby, those are the people we're talking about. How you feeling today?
Yeah.
How you feeling tonight, Philly fan? Not so good, huh? The Bucs whooped your ass again. So there you go.
And the Saints are also out. Yeah, there you go. All right, good stuff there. Mr. JP Peterson of the JP Peterson Show. Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate you. We'll come back in here. We'll take your phone calls, as always, live here from Raymond James Stadium. I'm going to stay here as long as they're going to have me. If you guys don't want to call, then I'm going to go home because I got to get up tomorrow and talk to the old people gang there with Winifred, Edith, and everybody else. They're yelling and screaming at me. Most likely probably Philadelphia Eagle fans. Just saying. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. We'll go back out to these comments here. W. Berger, fire those cannons. So we'll go ahead and do that. Let's go out to game on. Holy. We just beat the Eagles on the playoffs with a $4 million quarterback and over $80 million over the cap. I mean, that game on. That's what you have to put into context. That's what you have to put into perspective. This Tampa Bay Buccaneer team, nobody expected them. I won't say nobody. You watch this show, not saying I'm patting myself on the back, but I'm going to. I'm going to go ahead, scratch myself on the back, pat myself on the back, because I told you this team had the potential to win 10 games, go 10-7. and they had an opportunity to beat the Houston Texans, which, by the way, they're in the playoffs. They had an opportunity to win that game. They had an opportunity to beat the Atlanta Falcons. But you know what? It's neither here nor there. It's like Jaw said the other night on this show. It doesn't matter what you did in the regular season. The postseason is a totally different season. Open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. So again, putting it in perspective, national media doesn't expect much from this team. You think they're going to win 3 to 4 games, at the most 7 games, with the cap the way it is, taking the Tom Brady dead money and saying, you know what, we're going to accept it. Hats off to Todd Bowles. Hats off to Jason Light. And getting this team to be competitive this year, not only competitive, but NFC South champions, and now beating the Philadelphia Eagles on Wild Card Night on Monday Night Football on ESPN. You got to love it. Go Bucs. Absolutely go Bucs.
How about them Bucs, baby?
Let's go out to You Know I'm Right. Todd Bowles, see you next season. Absolutely. KR says, hell yeah, we did that. Bye, Eagles. Bye. My birthday is at midnight, so happy birthday. I'll do my best. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear KR. Happy birthday to you. Live here on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. I'm sorry if I hurt your ears. It's been a long day. Let's go Buccaneers. Absolutely. Cry, Eagles, cry. Defense came through big, put hurt on Hurts. I mean, you look at the final numbers here with Jalen Hurts, 25 for 35, 250, 1 touchdown, no interceptions, but you could definitely see the pressure was there all night from this Bucs front 4, from this Bucs front 5, from this Bucs front 6, was shutting down the running game, but blitzing, getting after him. And we talked about it. That was going to be a big point of contention for this Bucs defense. Could they shut down this offense? Could they contain Hurts from making those big plays? He had a couple big plays, but not enough explosive plays to make a difference. Anytime your defense only gives up 9 points, you have to be happy about the end result. Anytime your team gets an opportunity to have a safety, which, by the way, what is Hurts doing? Why is he even holding the ball at that point? Why not get rid of the ball? But the Bucs close, they get the safety. Kalijah Kancey showing up. Yaya Diaby showing up. To me, that's the difference. And people will be very critical as the lights are going down, but you know what? I'm going to still stay on as long as I can. You know, the big difference for me, where Jason Light deserves the credit, where the Bucs front office deserves the credit, is what getting Kalijah Kancey with the 19 overall pick. With getting Yaya Diaby in the 3rd round. And having those guys come in and eventually be contributors from the very get-go. I mean, that's what you expect out of your 1st-round pick. 3rd-round pick, somebody has to explain to me. Explain this to me like I'm a 6-year-old or an 8-year-old. How does Yaya Diaby last into the 3rd round? This kid's only getting better. He's only going to get better from here, Bucs fans. Get excited. These are your building blocks for the future. So when Jason Light fans come out here and say, we're not Jason Light fans because they didn't do this, they didn't do that, look at those 2 guys. Those 2 guys right there made a difference tonight for this Tampa Bay Buccaneer team. Lions, you're next. Go Bucs, baby. Absolutely.
How about them Bucs, baby?
Let's go out to Mike. The defense balled out tonight. Absolutely. Mike, and of course, Baker Mayfield was the man tonight. I mean, it's going to be tough to say anything bad about Baker Mayfield. I mean, again, did he take a sack there on 3rd down, which he shouldn't take? Yeah. You got to get rid of the ball, but he takes a sack. You put yourself out of field goal range. Some high throws tonight, but overall, you have to be pretty excited. In fact, once again, you know, going back to, 22 for 36, 337, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Got away with a couple passes tonight, but overall, you have to be pretty happy. Pretty clean game by Mayfield. Pretty clean game. And it could have been a lot worse. It could have been a lot better for Mayfield if Mike Evans catches those passes, which he should have did. If you don't have all those drop passes tonight by K. Dotton. All right, let's go out to Tim here Hope we beat the Lions, then beat the 49ers, then beat the Texans in the Super Bowl. Okay. I think Tampa Bay has their quarterback for the next 3 to 5 years. I think you're right. I think you're absolutely correct. And that's the thing. It's not necessarily a bad thing. But Mayfield not only got his bonus tonight for winning this game, because it's a great story, because he starts out as a $4.5 million quarterback to, having some elite numbers. And people go, oh, well, Baker struggled all year long. He's had his struggles. The offense has had their struggles. But also, let's give the man some credit. Give him his flowers, as the kids would say. Right? 337, 2 touchdowns. That's increased his value. So you may go from, a $20 million quarterback, 25, 30. That's the market. You got to pay it. I think he's your quarterback of the future. Actually, I don't think. I know he's your quarterback of the future. Baker Mayfield has earned another contract. And listen, I get it. A lot of Bucs fans, they want the shiny new toy. You want a guy like Michael Penix. You're not going to be able to get him, I doubt. You're not going to be able to get one of these top quarterbacks. And, furthermore, going back to the Bucs history, when have they done well with a young quarterback? Never. You got a veteran quarterback, you sign him, he knows your offense. He only gets better from here with Dave Canales. By the way, once again, Dave Canales, hell of a night for you, my friend. So there you go. Good stuff there, Dave. Appreciate you. Oh, yeah. Let's go out to Gary. Great win. Bye, Eagles. Sparkle Pie, baby. We win. Absolutely cry. Eagles cry. Master Peter, thank you very much. Odette, awesome game. Absolutely. Let's go out to Dave again. Bucs are the Eagles' playoff kryptonite. Mike says stopping Swift tonight was crucial, capped off by nullifying the 2-point conversions. I mean, how big was that? We've always heard about it all year long, how the NFL wants to outlaw it, how there are defenses out there that are not able to stop it. Not so fast, my friend, as the great Lee Corso would say of ESPN, which, by the way, was broadcasting this game tonight. The Bucs have shown that they can stop it. They showed it in week 3 with shutting it down on 4th down in that matchup. They showed tonight when the Eagles wanted to get that 2-point conversion to get them closer into this game, how they could shut it down. The Bucs have figured it out. They out-physicaled the Eagles tonight. It's crazy to say that, but that's what happened. And you're absolutely right. Shutting down Swift. I mean, look at the final numbers on that, right? 10 carries for 34 yards. 10 carries for 34 yards. Absolutely nothing for Mr. Swift. He might as well have been Taylor Swift. He may have been more successful in that case. All right, let's go out to Bobby Raines. What a beatdown, 32-9. Dave, Levante needs a new contract. I agree. And it's not over yet. Clearly, Levante David is the best linebacker on this team still. The man plays with great effort. I do not understand this. Again, somebody has to explain this to me. There has to be a worldwide investigation on how David every year gets snubbed, not only for the Pro Bowl, which is a joke. We get that. Because of, the snub of Antoine Winfield Jr. But all pro. Like does Bobby Wagner have pictures of somebody? Is that why Wagner keeps on getting picked over Levante David, who is showing that he's still playing at the top of his game right now? Somebody explain that to me. And all year long, David has played to that effort. So you like to see him come back. And I definitely think if the Bucs want to bring him back and David wants to come back, they will figure out a way. Because the cap situation is a lot better this year than it was last year. All right, so let's go out to, how about Britt and the Bucs D stopping the tush push? It's just a Bucs night when that happens. Absolutely. I mean, 2 plays, we talked about it. Tush push, and then you get the field goal. You take the points off the board. You go for 4th and 5. Hurts feels the pressure, tries to scale the pocket, throw it to Devontae Smith, and I believe Carlton Davis, Mr. Gravedigger himself, who said what during the offseason. We're going to wreck. We're going to wreck. We're going to wreck. And they did. Maybe not all year, but tonight, they definitely wrecked it. And it was definitely Gravedigger night for this team. Agree, says Bobby Raines. Let's go out to Christopher Cole. It's Victory Tuesday. Absolutely Victory Tuesday. I love seeing the Eagles lose almost as much as I love seeing the Bucs win. Absolutely. Let's go out to Mr. Art Koch. Absolutely, Cole. Thanks a lot for the comment. CSB brother right there. Baker is one gutsy guy. Bad ribs, bad ankle, but still scrambles and runs for yards to set up a touchdown. Anyone who still thinks he was a mistake needs to learn football. When you are leading 32-9 with 2 minutes to go and don't put in Trask to mop up, that tells you all you need to know. Go Bucs.
How about them Bucks, baby?
Completely agree. And, I continue to get into debates about this with Bucs fans, and I get it. There's some Gator fans out there still that want Kyle Trask to start, but the organization has told you unequivocally, Leo Word, that this team has confidence, that it gives them the best opportunity to win, and that is behind Baker Mayfield. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Let's go out to David here. Bucs win. Bucs win. Fire those cannons. Let's go out to KR again. Victory Tuesday, baby. Raise the flags. I mean, it's so much better on a Victory Tuesday or a Victory Monday, because not only do you win a playoff game, playoffs, as the great Jim Mora would say, now being immortalized in that commercial there with Kevin Hart. You got to love that, because that's still timeless. We always say it when you say playoffs. But you move on. You play the Lions in the Motor City on Sunday at 3 o'clock, not 2, 3 o'clock. Talking to Ira Kaufman about that tonight. Joe Bucs fan, Hall of Fame gatekeeper right there, the sage of Tampa Bay. And he was saying, NBC, y'all put it out there 2 o'clock. Why would they put it out there? Well, because they want to get as many fans to stream that game on Peacock and also watch it on NBC. But the game is at 3 o'clock, not 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock versus the Lions. And it's so much sweeter because not only do you beat the Philadelphia Eagles, you love it. In the playoffs on Monday Night Football, it's Victory Monday night. Now it's Victory Tuesday morning. Love it. All right, let's go out to Adam. Even Ric Flair was there. Absolutely. Woo! Gotta love that, right? The dirtiest player in the game, probably the greatest wrestler of all time. Cansey calls us a safety and a great game for the Bucs. I took Tampa in the game. I know, Ralph, you're a big-time Pittsburgh fan with Cansey and the way he's played this year. I mean, the guy could definitely be up for defensive rookie of the year. Excuse me, it's late. Not defensive player of the year. That would be Antoine Winfield Jr. Defensive rookie of the year with the way he's played. Yaya Diaby could be up for defensive rookie of the year. Once again, those two building blocks are so huge, have been so huge for this defensive line and the pressure that they cause and the havoc that they cause against opposing teams. Love the offsides call on the field goal, tempting there to go for it on 4th down, getting denied and taking 3 points off the score. Let's go out to David here. Can we finally put the Kyle Trask to bed? Agree. I think you can. Dave, let's go out to him. Love seeing all the Bucs fans in the stands. Way to show up, Bucs Nation. Wish I could have been there. Bobby, Detroit already is looking past us, talking about facing San Francisco. Christopher, Cansey too. Paul, not as long as Gator fans are also Bucs fans, unfortunately. Absolutely. Let's go out to Tom. Go Bucs. Go Bucs. Where is it at there? Where is it at?
How about them Bucks, baby?
Go Bucs. Let's go! Go Bucs. Let's go out to Nocturnal Buck Talk. Woo, let's go Bucs. Woo! There we go right there. Let's go out to Bobby Raines. Detroit fans are already looking past us. We'll see. You know I'm right. Anthony Richardson isn't on because his mom doesn't allow him to be up that late. Ralph says Eagles look bad. They do. And again, is that a situation? And go ahead and adjust myself here. There we go. Okay. Whew. All right. Is that a situation where, the Eagles are so bad? I mean, you could sit there and say that. It's easy to say that. And that was my point on the Facebook post in the first place with, because a lot of people said, well, when the Bucs beat Green Bay, that wasn't a big win because Green Bay's not a great team. Oh, wait a minute. They are a great team. They are a good team. They're 7th seed. First 7th seed to beat a higher seed, but to beat the Dallas Cowboys. So now what? The Bucs go on that 4-game winning streak. They have to win that game at Green Bay. Their backs are against the wall. They're able to beat them. Who's to say that Green Bay doesn't go to San Francisco next weekend and beat them, and the Bucs take care of their business? Guess what? We're back here on the sidelines for the NFC Championship game on the post-game show. I'm just saying, get in, and you never know what's going to happen. But the Eagles definitely look bad. Wide receiver drops. The problem tonight, not Baker. He didn't look hurt either. Toradol is one hell of a drug man. Hello, sir. What's going on? Dominic, thanks a lot for tuning in. I know who you are. Dave, the Bucs really made them look worse. Absolutely. Mike, Jalen Hurts' mama is going to change his name to IB tomorrow. Peter Baker threw for 3 touchdowns, more Palmer and Godwin. Yep, 3 touchdowns. Excuse me. I said 2, 3. You're exactly right. 3 touchdowns. Excuse me. Looking at my numbers right now. 3 touchdowns, yes. Moore on the dazzling run. Palmer for 56 yards. And, of course, Godwin later on in the game. Absolutely, you're correct. All right, let's go out today. Both sides of the ball playing great tonight. Let's go out to Megan. Hey, Peter, I know you're loving this. Go Bucs. Absolutely loving this.
How about them Bucs, baby?
Let's go out to the phone lines. What's your name? Where you're calling from? You're on the Evolution in collaboration with the JP Peterson Show, live here from Raymond James Stadium. Go.
Peter, Jeremy, how about that dub?
How about that dub, man? Give me your thoughts tonight here on that big-time Bucs victory over the Philadelphia Eagles 32-9.
Well, it was nice not hearing that stupid song that they always sing, Fly Eagles Fly. That was awesome.
Right.
But, man, what a game of the defense, man. Hats off, man. They really stepped it up. They gave up a couple of big plays, which we expect to happen.
Right.
And then the offense taking care of business. K. Dot, man, he was on fire tonight. That man, I don't know. I feel like him and Baker are building more chemistry each time. And, like I said, this was a game I knew we had in the bag. There was no way we were going to let Philly come in our house and beat us again. There was no way.
No, there's no way. And I tell you right now, they came out, and I think, it started out for me. I'm sitting there, and I lean over to JP, and I said, I'll bet you that they scored an opening touchdown because they didn't do it all year long. They were one of the 2 teams besides the Carolina Panthers. And, of course, for some reason on 3rd down, and they didn't do well on 3rd down tonight, but you look at the defense overall against that Eagles offense, they did better than they held them to no 3rd down conversions. But going back to it, you felt good about it because you saw new wrinkles. You felt good about it because you saw the aggressive nature of this offensive play calling by Dave Canales. You felt good about it because Baker Mayfield got into a rhythm and was completing passes to Mike Evans down the middle, which it looked like he was a little bit banged up, went to the sideline, came back. You were a little bit concerned. You talk about K. Dotton. He had a great night tonight. Also made a big catch on that drive. So going back to it, you felt good about all that going on. Even though you settled for a field goal, there was something different about this Tampa Bay Buccaneer team tonight. And you could see it all over the place in all 3 phases of the football game.
No, I agree. Agreed. Like I said, it was my first ever playoff game, witnessing it. Well, witnessing the win. I went to last year's depressing loss, but watching this live, I literally got home about 20 minutes ago.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it was well worth it, man. I mean, the environment, and there were less Eagle fans than last time I noticed, which that was amazing. So shout out to, all the other Butt fans, selling tickets to other Butt fans. I sell them to Philadelphia Eagle fans, keep their happy butts out of the stadium.
Right.
And that's another thing I give a shout out to because, man, the environment was just awesome. And to win it without Brady, that's a big step. You got to give the flowers to Jason Light, Todd Bowles, and the coaching staff for getting it done.
Yeah, you absolutely do. And it all comes together tonight. And now my question is, What do you do versus the Lions? Because now you got to turn the page. I know you're happy about getting that big victory over the Philadelphia Eagles, but you have to come out with the same effort because here's a Lions team, and I get it. Enjoy it. We're all enjoying it right now, but you got the Lions on Sunday. You got to come out with that same effort. You got a team right now that definitely has confidence. They're definitely, a direct reflection of Dan Campbell, who has instilled that. He wants them to be a physical football team. You got Jared Goff, who's playing his ass off right now. I mean, they've got some weapons on this team. Almiron, St. Brown, he's going to be difficult. Sam Laporte at the tight end situation. Aiden Hutchinson on the other end of that. So the offensive line, I thought the offensive line played well tonight. I thought Fletcher Cox got to Baker a couple times there. But overall, they kept the pressure off of Baker. But that's the kind of challenges you've got on Sunday. So, you can enjoy the victory, and Bucs fans are going to enjoy the victory, absolutely should. But then you got to turn the page to the Lions on Sunday at 3 o'clock. And we'll see what they do.
And I couldn't agree more, Peter. Honestly, I couldn't agree more. Enjoy the win tonight, get some good night's sleep, and then come Tuesday, it's on to the Lions. And remember, we played them before. That's the difference.
Yeah.
When you play a team before, you kind of learn some of their habits and you kind of game plan better. And remember, we played early in the year against the Lions when we didn't have identity on offense, and I think we're finally coming together on that. So I wouldn't be surprised if we gave the Lions a way better game than we did last time we played them.
Well,
Victory, it just depends, They got, and one more thing, Peter, they got to shut down the run.
Yeah,
you got to shut down Montgomery and Gibbs. Because if you don't, then that's where it's going to be our downfall.
And look, they're not going to sit back there and, run the ball 20 to 25 times. They're going to be creative with Gibbs. They're going to try to run him out of the backfield. They're going to try to run him on wheel routes and get him out in space. And that's the reason why you drafted him out of Alabama in the first place. So they're going to do some creative things. And that's what you expect from that offensive coordinator and Johnson, who's going to be definitely a hot commodity coming into this NFL offseason as being a head coach. But, with that being said, you're exactly right. It starts with shutting down the run. And I like what Goff has done this year, but we've also seen, Jeremy, that when you put pressure on any quarterback, especially Goff, he'll give you a couple. And going back to that first matchup where the Bucs lose 20-6, I really didn't feel like the Lions dominated that game. Did you?
No. I feel like, we just didn't know what our offense stands at. And plus, Kalijah Kancey, it was his very first official NFL game all around without getting injured.
Yeah.
And he's really came on tonight. He went against trenches against that so-called good offensive line for the Eagles.
Yeah.
That's another, X factor, I feel like. That doesn't all have to be on Vita Vea. Now Kalijah Kancey can get in there and shut down the run and get the pressure. And then Yaya got a little banged up early, I noticed, but it looks like he came back strong, so hopefully he's okay.
Yeah, he's a tough guy. I'll tell you right now. I mean, he's a man among boys. I mean, he really is. I mean, he is. He's unbelievable, and he's just getting better and better. And I'm excited about those guys. I'm excited about both of those players, not only for right now, but for the future of this Bucs defense. Jeremy, anything else here on the evolution?
How about Trey Palmer and David Moore with the speed? Did you see how quick they took off with the ball?
I'm telling you, and I don't know where David Moore has been. And again, he knows this offense. He's finally getting an opportunity to be in this offense, and he's taking advantage of it. And you watch that play, he makes a little move there, makes another move, gets out into the open, and he's gone, and he's breaking tackles. Say whatever you want to about this defense, because much has been said about it, how they're not good and they're not a good tackling team. James Bradbury looked like Ray Bradbury tonight trying to tackle. He was terrible. He got benched afterwards, and that's supposed to be one of your top corners, and he's not good at all. But with that being said, the effort by Moore to get out into space, to show that speed, that's the reason why the Bucs pick him up from Seattle, because not only he knows that offense, but he's got potential, and he's shown that potential before. And then furthermore, you got Palmer. There's a reason why he's a 6th-round pick. But there's also a reason why the Bucs take a chance on him, and that play tonight is the exact reason, because when you get him out in space and he has that speed and that explosive nature to him, he can make things happen, and that's what the Bucs envisioned when they drafted him out of Nebraska. So I think, again, the sky's the limit for that kid. He just needs to learn how to catch consistently. Sometimes you don't understand why he's off sides or false start or whatever else. But once he gets those intricacies, if you will, as being a professional football player, and he's learning from the best of Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, I tell you right now, the Bucs may have got a steal with getting him in the 6th round. Anything else?
And and another shout out to the offensive line.
Yeah.
I was very impressed on how they took on that Philly defensive line in the trenches. Instead of getting pushed around, they pushed them around. Because last time we played Philly, they pretty much shut us down. We couldn't run the ball if our life depended on it.
Yeah.
So you gotta give a shout out to the offensive line. I was very impressed. And plus, Luke Gedeke, man, he really is a mauler, man. He won't back down from nobody. I saw he got in the face a few times. Some of those Eagle players getting after Baker. So, like I said,
there was an Eagle defender that grabbed him by a face mask, and I'm surprised that he didn't draw a flag on that. I didn't understand that, but you're exactly right. The offensive line, especially Gedeke there defending Baker, you like to see that. And all season, for me, he's had his up and downs, but he's really settled in to his natural position. Oh, by the way, he played left guard last year. He struggled because he's not used to it. Now you put a guy who, is accustomed to that position and played that position in college at the right tackle situation, and he's done a lot better. Jeremy, thanks a lot for the call. Appreciate you as always. Let me go ahead and fire those cannons.
Yes, sir. Go Bucs.
Go Bucs, my friend. Happy Victory Tuesday here, Tuesday morning as we're live from Raymond James Stadium. I'm your host, Peter Blake. Open phone line, 727-255-0391 at 727-255-0391 to reset. Your Tampa Bay Buccaneers go on to win wild card Monday night over the Philadelphia Eagles 32-9. Open phone lines if you want to talk about it. We'll read the rest of these comments and then we will get out of here. I think I'm the only person here, and it's kind of cool because if you look around, it's like foggy right now, but you still have the lights on. But a couple hours ago, this place was so loud. I mean, and this is the first time I've been to a playoff game. Let me tell you something. The food was good tonight. Ken Santiago and his staff, when it comes to, feeding the crew here, feeding the media, superb service, superb everything. It was tremendous tonight. Tremendous food. And I definitely got my 2 or 3 plates. Nothing too hot. All right, let's go back out to these comments. But again, it's a weird situation because a couple hours ago, this place is just crazy. It's bananas. You can't hear yourself. There was some concern with, Bucs fans selling their tickets that they would be overrun by Philadelphia Eagles fans. No, the Red and Peter showed up tonight. The crew showed up tonight. That was tremendous. So good job, Bucs fans. Open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Let's go out to Megan here. Hey, Peter, I know you're loving this. Go Bucs. Absolutely. Tristan, great win. Do we still fire Bulls? No, you don't fire them. Mike, Motorcade, Ice Tray Palmer, Tammy Freed, Aunt Tammy, upward and onward. David says 1 game away from the NFC Championship. Got to take care of business on Sunday, but you're exactly right. And just gets better and better. I mean, we talked to Anthony Beck on the JP Peterson show, and I remember him saying in so many words, this kid just needs reps. That's a former tight end that played in the National Football League, a former number 1 pick of the New York Football Jets. Jets, just in the season. Sorry. Had to say it. But Anthony Beck, said this kid needs more opportunities. He needs to get the reps. He's getting that. He's getting better. Now, does he need to get stronger? Of course. Does he need to get stronger at the point of attack? Of course he does. Does he need to improve when it comes to blocking? Yes, absolutely. He had a game tonight. Great game by Otten. Thanks a lot, Dave, for the call. Get her done, Bucs. Absolutely. Christopher Cole, Eagles didn't tackle worth a crap like they didn't want to be out there. Absolutely. Love it. Ralph says Todd Bowles saved his job. Jim, in a lot of ways, the Lions and Bucs are similar teams right now. Mike, Bowles gets a reprieve. Bowles has saved his job. When Bowles beat Green Bay and you saw that embraced by the Glazers, to me, it was done, sir, done. Now, I know you can make the case with him losing against the Saints and struggles against the Carolina Panthers. If he loses, maybe it's a different story. But you take care of business over the Carolina Panthers. You take care of business with the Eagles tonight. He saved his job. He's coming back. He's definitely coming back. All right, let's go out to Aunt Tammy Freed. You guys seem to work very well together, very meshing. We tried. Thank you very much, Aunt Tammy. Appreciate you as always. Peter needs a stool and some creatine. JP is 2 times his size. He's a little bit taller than me, but thank you very much, Andrew. 2 giant goop balls. Appreciate you as always being a goop ball. The first of all, F the Saints for rooting against us, and LFG. I love it. Tampa, and I say, bang! Thank you very much, Jose. Bye-bye, Eagles, bye. Michael says, great show. Thank you very much. Ralph says, good night to all. Troy says, great job, Pete. Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate you. Let's go out to Michael Walker. See you in Detroit. I won't be in Detroit, but the Bucs will be in Detroit. Now, where will I be? I might be at home, most likely. Or maybe I'll go out to some tailgate. Maybe I'll go out to some restaurant. Maybe I'll go out to some bar if the price is right. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Philly fans knew what was going to happen. They lost to the Giants and Cardinals down the stretch. Crazy. Will, so glad Bucs fans showed up. Was at last year's playoff game against Dallas, and it was 50-50. Kudos to Bowles, Canales, who were masterful. Jason Light, Executive of the Year. Go Bucs, raise the flag. Fire the can. Let's go out to Mike DeRoche. My only complaint is a dominant win was too many easy drop passes. Otherwise, beautiful victory. Completely agree with you, Mike DeRoche, all the way from Canada. Appreciate you commenting. You're exactly right. I think that's the only thing you can really say. I mean, there were some big plays given up, but not enough explosive plays for this Eagles offense, to really do any damage versus this Bucs defense. The drop passes, taking a sack here and there. Tough to really nitpick about what the Bucs did wrong tonight. So good stuff there, Mike. Will Bowles is a good man. He was masterful tonight. Didn't let up, constantly brought the house. Lions are going to have their hands full. If the defense plays like this, change the energy. Braun says, Bucs Nation, let me fire the cannons for that. Let's go out to Dave. How big is Levante still? This defense, he needs to get another contract. He should never play for another team. Completely agree with you. People trash talk light, but the youth of the D is very promising. Cansey and Yaya are nice building blocks. Completely agree. Wholeheartedly. I've watched this team since I was 8 years old. And you see the good days of when this Bucs team, people talk about offense, and offense sells tickets, but defense wins championships. And I definitely think this defense is, going down, the right path here with both of those players. So I'm excited. I'm definitely excited to see both of these kids, because they're still kids, develop even more and get better. I really am. You're exactly right, Dave. Will, 10 starters drafted in the last 2 drafts. Jason Light hit on the draft, signed Mayfield for $4 million. Has the Bucs headed to the division round where projected to finish last. Exactly. All right, let's go out to Mike. Joe looks like the Lions head coach. Ha. Dave says, just noticed this, but JP needs to get rid of those Lions colors. I don't think those were Lions hat. Bulls needs to retire. Hand this off to Canales. Great defensive coordinator. Still not a head coach. I'm sorry to tell you, Brian. He's a great head coach tonight. He had this team ready to go. Again, there's not a lot to nitpick to. I mean, you play the best game and the best moment of the year. It's tough to argue that this guy's not a head coach in the league. I'm sorry. I see Todd Bowles definitely being a head coach of this team going forward. Let's go, Bucs. Absolutely, let's go. Let's go out to Christopher Cole. Every game was a blowout, but the Lions game. Dean of College Picks, Baker just signed an open check. Absolutely good points there.
Oh, yeah.
Dave says, can we also say the Bucs just retired Kelsey and Cox? Most likely, Cox still showed up. I mean, he definitely showed up. I mean, that guy is still a force. I think he'll try to come back if he wants to. He could still play in this league, but he definitely showed up tonight. And that's another thing you could probably go back to. Again, I think the offensive line did a good job. You still see a little bit of breakdowns there with the guard in the center situation. But that's something you can address. You got to get better at that situation, though, coming in against the Lions. Bucs had 157 yards of yak. That's always a good thing. Christopher Cole, Dean of College Picks. They are the Bucs. +6 is the line. David says, "Eha." I don't know what that is, but okay. Woo! Appreciate you. Thank you very much. I don't know what that was supposed to say. Did the Bucs just after the game find their quarterback for the next 3 to 5 years? What's the score if we have half as many drop passes? Probably 42, 45. Who knows? I mean, and again, a lot of Bucs fans will talk about how this team has struggled this year when it comes to Bucs offense and scoring points, but they got the potential to put some points on the board when they're cooking, when they're working with Baker at the controls, don't they? Again, 3 touchdowns tonight, over 300 yards for Baker Mayfield. Christopher Cole, Bucs' largest victory since the 2002 Super Bowl. Impressive. Christopher Cole, light GM of the year. Thomas, breaking news. Bucs are 2 wins from the Super Bowl. Wow. How about that, huh? Who thought that? And I know my co-host, who's probably not up right now, Harry the Greek, professional handicapper extraordinaire of the sports web, was saying the Bucs are going to the Super Bowl jokingly. This team has an opportunity. They continue to play the who knows? The sky's the limit. Watching the best sports talk show, the Sports Web with JP Peterson. Bucs did a great job. Absolutely, Mom. Thank you. Let's go out to Steve. Let's go. Let's go! Steve, Pete, what's the plan to beat the Lions? We'll talk about that on Wednesday night, and I heard that we may have some special guests, so definitely stay tuned for that. Didn't see any rain tonight. No rain tonight. Hell yeah. Thank you, Peter. LFG, go Bucs. Hell of a game from the defense. They showed out. Mike Mayfield, 4,500 yards possibly, or 450 to 500 yards possibly if there weren't those drop passes. Let's see here. Man Brown, Detroit. The Bucs are coming to work. If you play like tonight, you're all in trouble. Hope the kiddies are ready. Bucs are never scared. Love it. Let's go out to Dave. Stay safe from the mist beyond you, Peter. Yes, the mist is coming in, the fog. Peter King, you sleeping on our Bucs. Absolutely agree. Greg, whoa. Woo! There we go. Let's go out to Greg here, flying home to Costa Rica. I may not need a plane, because I know you're flying high tonight after your Tampa Bay Buccaneers take care of business over the Philadelphia Eagles 32-9. Cry, Eagles, cry. Steve again, how do we beat the Lions? We'll see. We'll break that down. Green Bay beat the Cowboys at home. It's the NFL. They're professional football players. There are no excuses. Christopher Cole, fog is setting in. I see it. I got to go. I got to work in 2 hours. Man Brown. When the Bucs play good on offense and defense, they can beat any team. Bring it, Cats. Tampa Bay is coming to win. Stop us, James. Guess what? Baker threw 3 touchdowns, not 2, 340 yards. Get your stats right, Peter. You're exactly right. Completely correct. Sorry about that, James. Appreciate the correction. Go Bucs. Thank you, Janine. Appreciate you as always. Let's go out to James. Okay, I got you. I think you forgot Godwin caught one late to get them to 32. You're probably right. I did forget that. I was looking at the numbers. I didn't remember. I remember the big plays to David Moore and, of course, Trey Palmer, but you're exactly right. Chris Godwin. And I wanted to focus on this because JP continued to say, Baker needed to put a little bit air on the ball. And he did that, threw it up there, gave Godwin a chance. You would like to see him do that with Godwin. You would like to see him do that more with Mike Evans. And hopefully he could do that versus the Detroit Lions. Let's take down the Lions. They're beatable. Whoa. Woo! All right, so let's go back out to Scott. Peter interviewed the Motor City Madman. That would be good. Zion McCollum was laying down some hits. Dude was solid as absolutely was solid. Absolutely. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate you there on I Love St. Pete. And the Eagles got trash. Cry about it once again. I'm going to get out of here because the fog is setting in. I have to drive back to Holiday. I have to get up tonight. I'll get up tomorrow morning and talk to people who don't want to talk to me. But tonight, Bucs fans, enjoy this. It's Victory Tuesday morning. Your Tampa Bay Buccaneers defeat the Philadelphia Eagles live here from Raymond James Stadium, 32-9. They will face the Detroit Lions Sunday at 3 o'clock. We'll have your post-game show, maybe a pregame show. Tune in to the evolution of Sports Talk Television Wednesday night at 9 o'clock. Do 3 things. And first and foremost, Facebook stars are available, YouTube super chats. Bring your passion, bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. I'm your host, Peter Blake, your Rolex reporter. What time is it? It's my time. And for Tampa Bay sports fans and Bucs fans, it's your time. Have a great night. Bucs win 32-9. We'll see you on the evolution of Sports Talk Television.